Okay, so wow, it's been like 6 months or so, give or take, since my last video at all. No excuse whatsoever. Just kind of just got lazy. Sort of embarrassed by it, but the collecting did not stop. It halted a little bit, but I was waiting for you know, the opportunity to learn a few more things about, NES collecting, and I learned quite a bit. More videos will come showcasing, I guess, what I've learned. But today is going to be another collection update. Figured that'd be the best way to get back into it, the best way for any of you watching to see how things have been going in the last 6 months. So we missed like all of summer, all of fall. It's December. I actually have a really cool idea to do like some Christmas videos. We'll see if I can work together like a little mini series on it. We'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna get right into it because I have a fuck ton of games over here to get through. So let's just go for it. Tenyard Fight. It's not good. We'll just leave it at that. It's not good. Styanax, I think it's how you say it. Actually, it's not bad. It's sort of like a side-scrolling kind of dungeon game. You get a sword or an axe, and I haven't played it much, but I actually enjoyed the time I did put into it. This one, Bad Street Brawler. If I got it on eBay thinking it was going to be something to tide me over until I picked up a Double Dragon or Bad Dudes or something like that. But I think you have to have the Power Glove to play it. If I remember right, when I put it in, the controller wasn't very responsive because I think you need the Power Glove to play the game. Either that or it's compatible with the Power Glove and preferred, but from what I noticed, it wasn't working very well. Baseball, game is garbage. Bad News Baseball is the one I go with. I also hear Baseball Stars is good. I don't have that yet, but this one it's not very good. Got it. Battletoads. Battletoads is a super important game from my childhood. My brother and I played it a lot. I think I've talked about it before. It is a lot of fun. Impossible two-player. I think it's been said it's impossible to beat it on two-player. In the third level, you're jumping around these sort of like jet ski kind of things, and there's like a jump that it's impossible to make it with two people. So I've heard. But either way, whenever we played it two-player, it was just fun. The first two levels on their own were fun, two-player. Not to say that I've ever beat the third level anyway, by myself or with another person. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend Battletoads. Great game to play. So is this one. Contra is the shit. Other than maybe Mario 3, it's probably my favorite game I've ever played on the NES. I'll do a video all about Contra because it's so good. It's a must-have on this system, and I think that's why it's skyrocketed in price. Because I've heard like 10 years ago this game was in every single eBay lot you would ever get. It was consistently a $5 to maybe a $10 game at the most. Now you're lucky if you get this for $25. It's not rare or hard to come by. It's just that's how values are going. They're charging a lot for games that people want, which makes sense. Supply and demand isn't really in effect if it's a quality title. It's like I've seen, Super Mario 3 cartridges sell for $25 that are terrible label damage, but it's just a game people want. So I got Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3 all in one big eBay lot like 2 weeks ago. I'd never played the third one. I played mostly the first one, like in arcades and stuff, but as far as NES goes growing up, Double Dragon 2 is what I played a lot of. And I like it because the two-player co-op is a lot of fun in it. It's your classic Double Dragon side-scrolling beat-em-up. It's where I think a lot of beat-em-up games got their got their MO from. So like all the ones you would play on the Super Nintendo, they have a lot to say, a lot of thanks to go to Double Dragon for that. Friday the 13th. Scored this on Nintendo Age from another collector. I got it because I played it as a kid. Like, a guy down the street had it, and I was just into it because it's Jason. It's sort of taboo for like a 10-year-old kid to be either watching those movies, let alone playing a video game about it. The game was not scary. The game was super difficult because I could not figure out how to play it. Now, after watching several videos online, it can be done. It can be beaten relatively easily if you know what you're doing. I'm going to try to beat it at some point. Gauntlet and Gauntlet 2. Didn't ever play this one as a kid. I got this one first. I just got this one just a couple weeks ago. I played the hell out of Gauntlet growing up. I never played the licensed cartridge. They make, Tengen makes it, but they make a black cartridge. I don't want that black cartridge crap. It doesn't look good altogether. So, but Gauntlet's so much fun. It's a great 2-player game. I could be wrong, but I think you can use the 4 score and do 4 players with it, which that'd be awesome. I mean, I could totally be wrong, but it'd be stupid to not have all 4 characters available like they were in the arcade. The arcade was fun. That was an arcade game that hung around here in Missoula for a long time when things started going to light gun games like Time Crisis and stuff. The old Gauntlet hung around here for a while. Gremlins 2, they made a game about the movie. You're Gizmo and you jump around. It's a top-down game. It's I didn't get very far into it before I just wanted to test it out, but the music's awesome. It's got music from the movie. Jaws, got this from the same guy I got Friday the 13th from. I've never beat it. Apparently you can beat it in like less than 5 minutes. It's from what I've heard, a lot of people think it's an unfinished game because you can beat it so quickly. I can imagine being a kid having a lot of trouble with it simply because just the idea of Jaws is scary, but the game was not. But you're being chased by a fucking shark. This time there's no escape is what it says on the cover. But I think if I really tried, I could maybe speedrun the game and learn how to do it pretty quickly. Little Nemo the Dream Master. If I can remember right, it was an animated movie in the 80s. Maybe? Does that sound right? Maybe like a Don Bluth film or something, but I just put it in to test it. Apparently a lot of people like it. It's a Capcom game, so it's going to be good. But a lot of people really enjoy it. I haven't really put a lot of time into it yet, though. Then we got Metroid. I never owned Metroid growing up. I never played the original one a whole lot. That same neighbor kid down the street, his dad played the fuck out of Super Metroid. And I never understood it because it was weird because he worked with my dad, and it was weird to see like a grown-up playing and enjoying video games. But he was so into Super Metroid to the point to where when he wasn't at work or football wasn't on, he was playing Super Metroid, and it always kind of sucked because he hijacked the TV whenever we'd be over there to play. But the first Metroid, it's very beloved, but it doesn't have a battery in it, so it's a password system. So whenever you'd want to stop the game, you got to write down that I think it's a 24-digit password. But it's classic Metroid. This one I didn't hear about until about 6 months ago. Nightmare on Elm Street. I know it probably sounds ridiculous. It's stupid. Let's knock off a movie and make a game out of it. But Rip from the North American Retro Collective podcast was talking about it and how he really likes it. And I'm like, I'll give it a shot. And I went to go look at it. It was like $30 on eBay. This is one of the most I've spent on a game. But I took his word for it, and I watched a couple videos of it, and it's actually kind of a cool side-scroller kind of game where you're you're in a dream and you got to kill different versions of Freddy Krueger. I played it on Halloween, and I think it'd be kind of a cool tradition to maybe play it every Halloween. So, thanks, Rip. I just got this yesterday, Ninja Gaiden. I had the second one. I got that years ago, but never owned the first one, and I've never ever gotten very far in this one, just because when I played it as a kid, it was pretty daunting, and people can beat the first level pretty quickly, and I'm not one of them. But it's Ninja Gaiden. It's a classic. I'm glad to have it. Now this one is a shout out to my friend Tyson. Rygar. Never knew much about it. In fact, I thought that I knew a lot about this game. I thought it was a game I played on the Master System a lot, but that was Roston, or I think that's how you say it. I never played Rygar growing up. I played Rastan with my cousin Johnsy. We see a picture of him up there. Anyway, I played a lot with him on the Master System, thinking that my whole life I thought this was the same game, and it wasn't. If I think I asked Tyson and I asked him his like top 5 favorite games ever. There's not a lot of games he's played. This is one of the ones on his list. So it's a fun kind of side scroller adventure kind of game. I think it's sort of pretty in depth. Like you get new weapons and stuff, and it's kind of fun for a throwback kind of adventure game. Shadowgate. All I know about this game is that it's text-based for the most part. I think I'm going to do a game report episode on this one, where it would make more sense to talk about it then, because I don't know anything about it except for that, like you walk into a room and you have your options, point and click here, take this, open this door, use your torch, but they're all text commands, and there's no action. It's like a turn-based text command game, like an old DOS game would be. But I'm kind of interested by the idea of it. Slalom, I had to get it because I'm such a fan of the Winter Olympics. I mean, I'm wearing a USA speed skating shirt right now. I put it in. I totally forgot what it was about or what we did or how well it played. But it's skiing. I'm sure that I'll go back to it at some point. Now this one came with Metroid and another game I'm going to tell you about in a minute. It's Star Trek, the 25th anniversary. I was not excited about it when it came. It was just a throw-in game. But then I put it in and I'm like, oh wait, I remember this. I remember watching a review video of it. I don't know who did it, but it looked kind of fun actually. As much as a Star Wars fan as I am, it kind of burns my skin to even hold this, but it might be fun to give it a shot. Now this game, Star Tropics. I played the shit out of this game when I was a kid. That being true, I didn't get very far at all in it. It was myself and my friend Ryan. I don't remember where we got it. I think his stepmom acquired it somehow and just knew that we played Nintendo, and it was way over our heads. But we had more fun with the music and just kind of walking around. It's a lot like it's like a top-down adventure game, sort of in like the Overworld map is a lot like Final Fantasy, and it was just kind of interesting to just kind of walk around and just adventure. Some of the games were fun to do that with. We never got anywhere, didn't get any at all distance-wise in this game, but we played it a lot. Which I think back, I'm like, why did we waste so much time on it? But it was more fun just kind of being together and listening to some good NES music and playing it. In fact, I asked him about it a few months ago, and he doesn't even have any memory of us playing it, but I know we played it a lot. Star Wars. I actually got this complete in box. I didn't do it because I'm like, oh, it's a fantastic game. I got it because it's fucking Star Wars. Star Wars is awesome. I haven't played it very far through. You start out in the land speeder near, Mos Eisley. And it's, from what I've seen, it's got some parts of the game you're in the Millennium Falcon and you're flying around, which would be cool to get to. But we'll see how far I get into it. This is the other game I got with Metroid and Star Trek. Super Mario 2. I think I mentioned in a previous video that I had a lot of games stolen out of a storage unit a couple years ago. This is one of them. But for some reason they left me the box. They took the manual and left the box. So I had the box to Mario 2, but now I finally got the game to go with it. It was, a lot of people like it better than 3. I'm not one of those people, but a lot of people didn't like this game because it was so much different than the first one. But I don't have a memory of when it came out. I was way too young. But from what I understand by watching like Happy Console Gamer and some of those guys, it was so exciting to have a new Mario adventure. It didn't matter what it was, because you beat through the first one and then you just go to a store and you find out, holy shit, it's Mario 2. What? Like, because there was no internet. Like, it was super hard to, unless you had a subscription to Nintendo Power, you didn't know this was ever going to come out. You just knew that you liked Mario and you were ready for another one, and this was the game. If I have my my facts right, the original Super Mario Bros. 2 was deemed too hard for American audiences, so they took a game called Doki Doki Panic and they reskinned it with sprites from Mario. So they put Mario characters in this game that they just hijacked from Japan, and that's where we got a few characters that are still around today, like Birdo and Shy Guy were both in this original game. Had they not taken that Doki Doki Panic game, we never would have had Birdo and Shy Guy as characters. So it's kind of cool to see how, characters come to be legend, I guess. This is my favorite game of all time. Super Mario Bros. 3. It's so nostalgic to me because I played it a lot with my Aunt Christina, and it's everything I wanted in a game. It pushed the Nintendo to its limits as far as graphics, as far as like the length of a game. You got to do so many new things. They upped their ante big time when it came to this game. And I remember watching the movie The Wizard when I was a kid, and that movie, had it not come out, almost nobody would know how to find the warp whistles. Like, everyone knew where they were, and it was just because so many people saw the movie, word spread. I think it would have been different if it was Nintendo Power, because not a whole lot of people had the magazine, at least where I was from. But when that movie came out, we all knew who that first friggin' warp whistle was, and I could talk about this game for ages. And I'll do a whole video on it, just talking about all the different worlds and how beautiful the levels are. Great, great game. I'm running out of room. I have so much shit. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. This game is tremendous. If you've never played it and you go to play it, you might be upset that it's sort of glitchy because there's so much happening on the screen at once, because it is a port from an arcade machine. And the arcade machine, it was in this, we have this pizza place here called Tower Pizza, and I think it was in that place for like 15 years. And we would go there every Christmas as a family, not Christmas Day, but like Christmas time. When a family traveled here, we'd always go there. They had this, and they had a Street Fighter 2 Turbo machine. But this game, my cousins and I played it a lot. They were too young to even remember they ever did it, but we played the shit out of this game. And it's a lot of fun. I recommend it to anybody. You can pick it up and enjoy yourself. It's a beat-em-up game, very, very different than the first one. Black Box Tennis. Not much to report back on. I got Total Recall. I think I snagged it for like $3. The only reason why I have it. I'm not going to promise you that I'm going to play it all the way through, but I might give it a shot again at some point. The whole point of having games, I've learned that I need to stop just getting games to get them. I need to get some games that I'm always going to want to play, or games that I'm interested in playing, and then if I don't like them, get rid of them. I don't intend to have a full collection of 780 whatever games there are. I don't want to be that guy. I want to have a good solid 100, maybe 200 games that I can be proud of, that I could just pick any random one and enjoy myself with it. I can't imagine Total Recall is going to fall into that category. WWF WrestleMania Challenge. I wanted another wrestling game, and this one had the Warrior, so I had to go with it. I'm probably always going to be chasing pro wrestling, the black box game, and I'm probably never going to find an enjoyable game as good as that one was. But this one, it's at an angle from the ring instead of being a side view of the ring. It's an angle. It's a little bit weird to get used to. I think the gimmicky part about it is that you get to use actual wrestlers versus the other ones were made up. But I still prefer pro wrestling versus this one. Now, I got Wheel of Fortune featuring Vanna White. Normally it wouldn't be a big deal, but this is technically my first little collection I completed. There's 4 Wheel of Fortune games on the NES, and I have them all. I don't imagine getting rid of them because the puzzles are just they're 1980s trivia, guys. It's fun. It's funny to look back at what a puzzle would have been that long ago. So I'll probably always keep these 4. I'm glad to have them all. And my girl, Vanna White, she's on the cover. So that's always nice. Wizards and Warriors, I don't know much about it. I got it because on that North American Retro Collective, or the NARC podcast, they had an 8-bit fantasy draft of video games. And one of the guys that was in the draft, he picked Wizards and Warriors. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can snag it for cheap. I think I got it for like $5 or $6. So I'm like, okay, I'll go for it. I put it in, and you're like a knight in armor, and you're fighting with a sword, and it's I can imagine it being kind of fun. So I think I got those guys to thank for buying this. And the last one, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. This is the one that I played a lot of growing up versus playing The Legend of Zelda, which most people played. So I played this one first. So I had the opposite effect as most people. Most people played the first Zelda, and they were upset and pissed because it was totally different. This is a side-scroller for the most part. And Zelda's a top-down dungeon game. It's very different. But this one's got like way more like RPG elements to it. And I enjoy it a lot more, but it's probably because it's the first one I played. I've talked to people and they don't like it, and that's for them. Each your own path. But Adventure of Link is the one that I played a hell of a lot more, and it's why I don't call Link Zelda, because growing up, a lot of people called the main character Zelda. Homie's name is Link, so get your shit together. Well, that was the collection update. There's a hell of a lot of games I had to get through. I intend on continuing the YouTube channel and getting some things going. Main reason why I hadn't done anything in the last few months was because I was helping a buddy grow his YouTube and his Twitch channel. I'll put his link in the description below. His name's Baby Sig. He's a huge Nintendo fanboy, and he's primarily a Pokemon streamer, and very family friendly. He's not going to cuss as much as I do, or maybe even at all. But he's become a really good friend, and I wanted to do what I could to help his stream grow. The little community we have, we just hit 700 people, and very, very loyal and tight-knit community. So I was doing what I could to help out there, and now I kind of want to get my thing going again. He's inspired me to just kind of keep going and make have a record of this collection I have going, and get some memories on the internet. So I'm gonna go from there, and we'll see how things go. Again, I want to try to do like a Christmas theme kind of video series in the next couple weeks. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see how everyone likes it. Glad to be back, and thanks again, guys.